begin, I think. Great. So this session, actually, I arranged many times. I've been doing the sessions for the PMP and so on. And many people keep asking that what is PMP, why we should do PMP. So I thought let's record a video for that. And I can have a live session also. So people can come on and they can ask questions also about PMP and all those things. And good to hear that we have one fresher also. Okay, great. Thank you. So yeah, many people were asking about it, and I thought I have to play an active role now. We have been busy in many certifications from long time. Let me share this information. We will be able to have, I have, because there are not many audience, so I don't keep the mic blocked. You can ask any question anytime you like it, but it's better if you keep it at the end of the sessions. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. You can write your questions on the chat window throughout my explanation, and I'll be looking at my second screen also. If you look, my eyes moving in this direction, it means there's a second screen. I'll be looking at that. So it's not like I'm ignoring you guys in that context. So yeah, that is what something, and I will upload the recording of this on my YouTube channel, so you can watch it by yourself. Plus, you can share this information with anyone you like. Let me show you what is my profile. I am a project management consultant, have been working in IT industry since last 22 years. This was my brief profile. I have done masters in IT, in HR, in business management, in computer science, and also my DBA, the doctorate, is also in project management. And a part of that, I am the second person on the earth who have finished all PMS certifications, all the main certifications, plus all the discipline agile certifications, which was recently established. And from my IT perspective, I have done the highest level course of security, if you might heard, called as CISP or CISM. They are considered as the last certifications of cybersecurity in that particular field from ISC Square and ISACA. So let's begin our discussion. I have got some of yours also. Before I start, until these people are joining in, you can watch this video also. It's a very short video and you will understand more. Then I will explain it also. In the meanwhile, please, here it is.
As we adapt to new ways of working and prepare for future disruption, organizations will see a growing need for skilled project managers. The PMI 2022 Jobs Report showcases emerging sectors and trending industries where project leaders can find opportunities to drive growth and innovation in every region of the globe. Countries in the Asia-Pacific region expect their economies to grow in 2022. Meanwhile, talent is in high demand in many countries and industries. While China's economy has experienced a slight slowdown, a number of factors should contribute to increased project activity, including consumer spending increases and China's energy transition plan. Supply chain disruption and rising energy prices, along with rapid digitalization, are driving an increased demand for project professionals in Europe, especially in IT. The current conflict in the region will have long-term humanitarian and economic consequences that will require response. There has been a spike in demand throughout Latin America for project managers, particularly in the technology and manufacturing sectors. Rebounding oil pricing, government investment in high-profile mega-projects, and international events like Expo 2020 Dubai and the 2022 FIFA World Cup promise to reinvigorate the region's economy and need for project managers. The Great Resignation and supply chain problems have put job seekers in high demand in the US and Canada as companies look toward automation and digitization to protect against future disruption. Despite the pandemic, the global demand for products manufactured in South Asia has continued to increase over the past 2 years. As a result, companies are willing to invest more in project managers with strong innovation and leadership skills. Nearly a third of global aid, roughly $32 billion, is spent in Africa, and that's fueling new development jobs across the region, up to 45% of which will need project talent. The demand for project talent is high around the world. Are you ready to take your career to the next level?
Great. Some of you were listening and having the news that yes, there is a lot of things in the PMI, that why we have so much PMP and so on. In 2019, I have attended a PMI seminar in USA. It was like every year they have global conference. So I heard the first word they are called as project economy, and I was thinking what they're calling about project economy. So ultimately, what happened? Thanks to Corona. Because of Corona, you might have seen many people were laid off, they lost their jobs, and ultimately people started realizing that working 9 to 5 in a similar capacity has no benefit to them, and there is always a risk of job security. So ultimately what they did, they started converting themselves as a freelancers based on project basis. And once they came into the market on project basis, and disruptions you might have seen in terms of USA and China, when the COVID came, people were working from home, many technologies needed, many technologies were available, like Zoom is one of them, which was nothing before COVID, and after COVID, it became the most primary tool for everyone also. So project professionals started increasing. And nowadays, companies have also realized why we have to hire a person for a specific product, give him or her salary for a while, and ultimately we have to adopt it for 20, 25 years. This trend is almost finishing now. So what is happening now? People are doing project-based jobs. They do a project, and then they deliver it, and then that's it. Nothing called as gratuity and service benefits and so on. No, do your job. Thank you very much. You are happy. We are happy. There is no other options available. Enjoy the life. They are earning more than what they have to. They have to wait for 1 year for that salary. Let's suppose ultimately they get a project and they finish it, and they can do their project in their own timings also. There is a specific time you can arrange accordingly, and so on. So this work has been increasing since last 3-4 years. Although PMI exists from 1969, project management exists from a long time also. But this trend has started increasing, the project-based job. This culture is improving. Many people are nowadays afraid of joining the jobs in project because once the project will finish, you might lose the job. Or many people are feeling happy that, okay, we'll do a project, we'll collect our rewards, and ultimately we'll enjoy the life. And then once we are free to start another, we can start multiple projects at a time also. So ultimately, this trend is increasing. When I did PMP in 2017, there were only 750,000 people in the world. Now it has crossed 1.35 million people they have certified in the world. So the advantage is many people are getting certified. I have been through all the PMI certifications also, and literally I have learned that it's not an academic exam. Any certification you are doing, you have to remember that PMI or any other certification is not an academic exam. It's literally a knowledge exam. You will realize the importance of it, that if you will sit an exam, there is no definition questions, there is no memorization. This is, you can say, good news also. You don't need to memorize so many things. What counts? Your experience, your state of mind, that in a particular situation, in a stressful situation, how you make the decisions, how you engage the people. So ultimately, on those basis, project management exams are being conducted. PMI have multiple certifications. Right now, we are talking about PMP. So in the whole world, 1.5 million people going to be certified soon. And the project management demand is increasing day by day, everywhere. But once this demand has increased and people started working in project, so they needed a way to work on the project. Ultimately, what was happening? Many projects were failed. Still, there is a figure available that 70% of the project failed or suffered with the failures because of multiple reasons. Why? Because people do not understand the way of doing the work. They treat it as like 9 to 5 job. Ultimately, they fall into the trap. They are unable to make decisions. So to avoid that thing, PMI has been working since 1969. The first version they released, they established themselves in 1969, and they conducted their exam in 1984 first time with the help of a journal. And ultimately in 1996, they launched their first version of the book, They call it PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge Notebook, which contains the standard. This part actually contains, this book contains two parts actually. One is called as a standard and one is called as framework. Standard, the best practices they have collected from different parts of the world, and ultimately how to apply them, not step by step, because it's not a methodology. So they just provide you the guidance how you can apply these practices into your real world. Advantages, it is considered nowadays, PMI itself called as that we are the gold standard of project management. Like there are many also, APMG, there is Prince2, there is Axelos, there is from ISO also, like ISO standards, which meets the minimum requirement for any domain. So based upon that, PMI has also established, and it has been successful from a long time. People who follow it, they are getting success. People who follow them as an academic, like remembering the processes, they always fall into the trap. So the benefit of doing the PMP is that you are globally recognized. If someone is going as PMP to the market as an industry or in any industry expert capacity, so they will be considered, okay, you have passed PMP, it means you had some knowledge, because it's not a memorization exam, it's action-based exam, scenario-based exam. Ultimately, we will guide you how to learn for it, how to prepare for the exam. So you will enhance your skills as a project manager with the help of framework. You will be globally recognized in any part of the world. Before it was considered, because it's from PMI is from USA, so it was considered that PMI is only applicable to USA, Canada, and Middle East. But since it started expanding its market, I have been delivering also those batches in New Zealand and Australia in the night. Now it's increasing in Europe and UK also. Before UK and Europe were with the Prince2, there is another certification called as Project in Control Environment. So they were following actually those standards, but now PMI is going there, and within I think 2 or 3 years of time, 28,000 people have certified themselves from PMI PMP also. And for sure, the certified project manager always earns more than the normal person who is not certified. You might have experience, we respect your experience, you might have expertise, you might have skills, but to apply those knowledge, those expertise, those skills, you need a guidance, a framework. And that's what PMI is providing you. That's what the PMI called as generally recognized good practices in the form of standards. Good practices being followed in different parts of the world, in different industries of the world. What PMI did, they collected all of them in a form of a book called as PMBOK, which is called as Project Management Body of Knowledge. It's not methodology, it's the set of practices which contains the guidance. How can you make your project successful in a very simple and easy way? And they do not lie about it. They always conduct a survey every year and they publish a report, and they find a meanwhile that people who have PMP, they earn 25% higher approximately than their other mates or peers, because they are globally recognized as a project manager. Now it comes who should become the project manager. So to become the project manager and to attend this training, anyone who is working in projects directly, anyone who is working in functional managers. There is a big myth that functional manager does not do the project. But actually, all of us are doing the project in our capacity, whether it's personal, whether it's professional. So anyone who is project manager or trying to be a project manager, functional manager, consultants, engineers, project team members also, because you will never remain team members or engineers for your whole life. One day you'll become project manager, and even everyone wants to escalate him or herself towards a rewarding career. They can never stay on the same career for their whole life. To support the training program, PMI has established that, okay, for training, there is no requirement, but to appear an exam, you need to have a high-level diploma with this 35 hours of training, which will be provided to you, or you can have with 4 years experience, 4 years bachelor with 3 years of experience in the project. I heard, I think it was from Rafi, that he does not have experience. The people who are college graduate, they can do another exam called as CAPM, Associate Project Manager. And for that, the requirement is only secondary school diploma. If you have finished the secondary school diploma, or if you have finished your graduation or finishing the graduation, you don't need to get the experience. You can just go for CAPM, So at least you can be recognized that, yes, I have entered the project management world, and CAPM contains almost everything of it from the PMP side also. So if you don't have 3 years or 5 years experience after your graduation or after your high school, you can do CAPM, which is the first level of project management. So you can go for CAPM, or if you fulfill this criteria, 3 years or 5 years experience after your graduation or after your high school, which is grade 12 in our country, is considered applicable for exam eligibility. The process is very simple, that you have to show the experience, then you have to attend a training program of 35 hours, and ultimately we will submit your eligibility after the training, that yes, we have completed the 35 PDUs training, and that's what been rewarded to you. Ultimately, you will get your eligibility approved within 5 to 7 working days by PMI. Now let's discuss about the cost. You can be a PMI member, and for that you have to pay $139 per year, and it's not mandatory like other organizations. Like I have ISACA, so for ISACA, for ISC2, I have to pay every year for their membership, and I cannot give away. But for PMI, they don't have very strict guideline. If you have become member first year and if you don't want to become next year's, so they will not charge you for that. Otherwise, in other organizations, you have to be like paying every year for that purpose. So at least we recognize that you can become the PMI member. It's for the continuous learning also. So $139 is for the PMI to become the PMI member. And if you are a PMI member, exam will cost you $405. But if you are not a PMI member, exam will cost you $555. And I think if you compare the cost, even after becoming the PMI member, I think you will be paying almost $545, $10 less, and you will enjoy the full year of membership where you can earn PDUs. You can renew your certification if you are PMI member by paying $65 after 3 years. And in those 3 years, you have to finish 60 PDUs. PDU means Professional Development Unit, and 1 PDU is equals to 1 hour of activity. This 1 hour of activity could be hours you spend in the project, hour you spend in reading, hour you spend in attending a course, hour you give a presentation, hour you share the knowledge. You did some hours in the project. So conclusively, you need to have 60 PDUs in 3 years of time, which means 20 PDUs per year based upon reconvenience. And if you have a membership, there are many articles, many courses free for PMI members. You can watch it, you can read it, and continue yourself. So you don't need to appear in exam again. Just renew your certifications, pay 60, show 60 PDUs. You have to log it. We will guide you how to do that. And then you will pay $65 after 3 years to renew your PMI certification. That is the cost actually. And we used to have center-based exam before, which was mandatory. Now because of Corona and all those things, PMI has adapted to that framework. And many of the PMI, not all of the PMI, but many of the PMI certifications are available online also, which means you can appear from your home. There are certain guidelines that you need to have good camera and a good laptop and good internet connection. If you have all these 3 things, you don't need to commute. Advantage, you don't need to commute. Disadvantage, if anything goes wrong during the exam, it might be your fault. But again, PMI is very lenient on that. You can make a request that my internet was down, and they will give you a second chance, sometime free, not all the time, if there was a genuine problem. But if there is no problem, I prefer to, like a majority of my exams I did from my home or from my office. I don't want to travel. And that biggest advantage is when you are doing exam online or on weekends, so you can take the dates of weekends, you can take the dates of in the middle of the night also. There are many slots available 24 hours a day. But center-based, you will be like stuck to a plan that only working days, the 5 working days from 9 to 5, which might you need to take the off from your workplace also. So I prefer if you have if the people who live in Eastern Province, there are only 2 centers. One of them is always useless and one of them is always good, but very busy. So sometimes we get the dates off after 1 month and 2 months, and it becomes hectic. So if you're living in Eastern Province and you have good internet connection, I prefer you can do it online. It's better for you. You just need to have a room with the gate. No one can come in, and that's it. Simple guidelines. Now let's come to the exam point of view, that PMI keep changing their books and their exam content outline. So ultimately, from 1996 when PMI started, the first book. This is still the standard in a different way. If you could just give me a second, let the Azan finish, and then I'll explain. Okay, so PMBOK was first launched in 1996. It was the first version of it. And every 5 to 7 years before, they used to have the habit of updating the book as well as the exam content outline. The last one, which is updated and called as PMBOK 7, they have already launched it. But there is, like we are used to of our university, that exam will be from the book. But for PMI, no, exam is not from the book. There is something called as exam content outline. PMI prepares the exam content outline for each certification. And there are a group of volunteers who read those exam content outline and prepare the courses. They don't see the books. They look at the task in defining the ECU, and related to those tasks, they prepare the courses. So there's a big myth that people think that if I will read the book, I will remember the definition, I can pass the exam 100%. Incorrect, not possible. So before, these were the 5 process groups, and they were considered as the exam domains from where the questions were coming. Now, these domains exist as process group in the similar capacity in the process, which is 50%, but they have changed the domains into people, process, and business involvement. 42% is about people management, 50% is the same process management, which was in the old PMP, and 8% exams are from the business involvement, compliance, and risk. So that's how you will be judged. There are 180 questions, multiple choice. Before it was only multiple choice. Now they have changed their exam type also, multiple choice questions. There are true false questions. There are hybrid questions. There are fill in the blanks questions. There are hotspot questions. There are more than one correct answer question, but they will guide you that which one they are looking for. And for that 180 randomly generated questions, 5 questions are experimental. In 2021, they reduced it to 180. Before, when we did PMP, it was 200. And the people who did PMP in before 2000, so in like the first exam was conducted in 1984, there were 350 questions handwritten, and that was 7.5 hours of exam. And ultimately, I did not know that. I have not met a person yet. Last couple of months back, I went for a training to deliver a training in Jazan, Royal Commission of Yambo. So there was an engineer from Scotland. I met him, like we just had a chit chat on the lunch, and he said, "You remember, you will be shocked to know." I said, "What?" So I did that exam of 350 questions of 8 hours exam, handwritten, 30 years back. So I got the privilege to see some of them that who have done this exam. But we did this exam, which is 200 multiple choice questions, and at that time, 25 questions were experimental, and 175 were marked. So still PMI maintains same that 175 are marked, but 5 questions are experimental questions. They check it that if people are able to answer it, they add them in the question bank. Otherwise, they change them. And no one knows. Only PMI, even also the PMI doesn't know. It's just like the random question bank, which have experimental questions. There is no negative marking. There is a myth, okay? that 65 to 69 if you will score, and it's like a probability that if you will score 65 to 69%, you will be passed. But PMI goes with the psychometric based exam, that you should know these things if you know as a project manager. Like if I'm asking, you have selected all the questions correct, but you don't know how to do the scheduling. If your questions of scheduling are wrong, you cannot be PMP certified. If your questions for earned value management are incorrect, majority of them, other questions are correct, but the main question which needs to be like as a project manager core, if they are not correct, you cannot be PMP certified. So you will be considered as failed. So PMI goes actually with the psychometric based, and questions are randomly coming. It's no one can predict, and not many people can get the similar questions. It's almost impossible that only 2 of you people can have the similar questions. So you can have a 4-hour exams. Before there were no breaks. Now there are 2 breaks after every 60 questions, like possibly it could be more than that also. So for one question, you will have 1.22 seconds, 1 minute and 22 seconds, 21 point something seconds for one question. So 60 questions around, you will get after 75 minutes, you will get a mandatory 10 minutes break, where if you are doing online or you are doing it center, you can move around, drink water, pray, whatever you want. And then these questions will be logged. You cannot change their answers. Then ultimately you will have another 60 questions. And ultimately there will be another break of 10 minutes. And then you will have next 60 questions. Sometimes first half is difficult, sometimes second half is difficult as per the student feedback, those who have passed. But it's not about difficult, because you know what happened majority of the time. I always explain to my student that, look, when you will sit an exam, the first hour will be like shocking for you, because you will feel like there is no question coming from our definition. Exactly, there is no definition questions. There is no explanation questions. They are asking you to do something. So for first hour, it's like a kind of unexpected thing. But if you're prepared well, if you follow the guidance, there will be no problem for you. So ultimately, people will be able to grasp it. And then, you know, our brain is like a diesel engine. When it gets hotter, it starts moving further. So in that case, yes, you will be able to perform better. And maybe you can finish the exam within 3 hours, 3.5 hours. It's very normal. Once you finish the exam, you will get the message on the screen, congratulations, you passed the exam. And after 24 hours, you will get your certificate by email. Before, they used to send a printed copy with the label pin also. But now they have stopped the label pins, you know, after the corona, and also the physical certificate, the printed hard copy. They have just online. And to maintain the integrity, like when they were online exams, there were some cheating and some of those things. So what PMI does, if you are doing the exam online, they check your video recording randomly after you pass. Okay, you got the message on the screen, congratulations, you passed. But they check your recording before issuing you the certificate, that during the exam, how you performed. If you did in the center, it's okay. But if you did online, they will check your video recording, that it was daily you. Means randomly, they will check your video, that you're not looking here and there and your mouse is moving according to your psychometrics and all those things. So yeah, they will be able to issue the certificate within 24 hours of time easily. Once you become PMP certified, that's it. You have already fulfilled the criteria that you had 3 years of experience minimum after graduation. Now you're PMP certified. You can proudly announce. And if you have learned well means you have been following the whole process of learning throughout the things. So ultimately, you can remember the things. Don't try to go into the trap that I will buy the questions from here, I will do this, and I will just sit an exam. Maybe you can pass the exam, but it will remain just a paper. And you know, once you go for interview, maybe you can bypass the checklist of the thing that, okay, you bypass the queue. Okay, you are selected for interview. The person who's taking interview, within 2 minutes, this person will know that how much knowledge you have for the project manager. So it's a process. Normally, I call it will take 25 to 30 days to pass the exam after the training, which is 1 hour a day. You have to do learning. Now, to support the learning, what actually I do, like if I say why you have to do the training from me, I have a criteria that you do all the things, you register, you do the training. Very good. Then I have to become from the trainer to teacher, that every day I have to give you a task for 1 hour activity, like some explanation with the questions, some explanation with the questions, some explanation with the questions. And you have to submit your answers by the end of the day. So I can track and check your progress, what areas you are missing, and then I will keep changing your courses. It's not like everyone will get same questions every day. You will get for sure, but I will change the questions for you guys if you are not adapting to it, or if you have some weaknesses in those areas. So this 1 hour activity actually after the training goes to 15 days when the whole course material will be finished. And after that, I'll give you the access on the simulator. There is an online simulator I have created where you will be having the exam like exams available. Exam doesn't mean the copy paste, means a similar logic. Logic will be same. So there are 6 tests there, full test, which is 180 questions. So if you have finished this cycle of 15 days with me, and then you just do those 6 exams and you achieve around 75 to 80%, and it's for sure I'll be checking your progress. If you finish this, I'll give you the green light to sit an exam directly. So you can say the whole PMP, it will cost you almost a month with 1 hour after the training, and also on weekends. I'll be like asking you to solve the questions on weekends for the full exam, which is like 4 hours. So if you will do this, it's just 1 month commitment. You have to do it from your family, from your friends that, okay, guys, I am studying something for my future. So you have to trade in your life with your life situations for 1 month so you can improve your life. So actually you need to make a change from your current state to future state, and for that you need at least a month. And like I have shown you that I've done so many certifications, and it's only possible because your family support is very required, your kids support is very required, because and for sure you have a job also. So after you are coming back from home and you don't want to open the books, the good news is I don't want you to open the books. I will give you the things like the short summary I've created. After the training, I'll be providing you the chapter by chapter summary. So you just follow that, and that's it. You don't need to do hard work. Hard work, I have done it. You just need to do the easy work. And ultimately, you have to pass the exam after that. So this is what the mentored self-learning, what I was saying, that it will continue for 2 weeks, not 5 weeks. I have reduced it because, majority of us are working in Middle East, and Middle East, the time starts very early, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, people wake up and then they reach home around 6 p.m. And if you ask them to sit for preparation, it's difficult. It's not that easy. And then they have to go and start again and again. So to pass the PMP, as I was saying, that this PMBOK contains 2 things. One is called as a standard, which is actually NC approved, American National Standard approved. And one is called as framework, that how to implement this standard into your project. And these 2 are combined together in the form of PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. And to pass PMP, you have to read 10 books. And if I say 10 books, you will almost have a heart attack because you will not have time. Also a shock that you cannot study. So don't worry about it. We have prepared the slides accordingly. Slides are more than enough to review it. And after that, you just solve questions. That's it. This hard work, I have done it for you guys. Just need to prepare accordingly. Follow it. If you follow word by word, take 100% guarantee from me that you will be passed at first attempt. You can appear in exam 3 times, and every time it will be paid. And if you could not finish the exam in 3 attempts, unfortunately, then you have to wait 1 year. And then you can start your eligibility again and appear in exam. But I can give you 100% guarantee, and it's not I'm saying. In last 6 years, I have 700 plus PMP certified, only PMP certified, apart of other certifications. 99% of the people passed only just because of my follow-ups. And this is not I am saying. You can go and check the screenshots on my website, on my channels, everywhere, on my LinkedIn also. That I just keep pushing them. That go and do the exam, do this. And I keep randomly doing the trainings and challenges. Like 1 week, I just dedicated for my students. Like after this training, which is starting from Sunday, once this training will finish, I have already asked my student to get ready for the week iteration. So which will be next week after, like from the starting week, there will be another week. So I'll be doing 1 hour daily course and solving sessions with my student. Only I don't ask the external people, only my students. Where we solve the questions live, where I explain it, that how to answer it, what are the tips, what are the techniques, what are the tricks, so you can easily remember that. You don't need to do the hard things. These lessons will be following. That first one is our 8%, which is business involvement, and it's an introduction. Then how to start the project, how to plan the project, how to lead the team for the project execution and support them throughout the project, and ultimately how to close the project. That's what the latest guideline, which came in March 2023. They changed their slides again in 2023. They changed their slides in 2021 3 times, then 2022, and then 2023, they have changed their slides 2 times also. So the latest slide, this is the format, and that's what we will follow.